Hello everyone, welcome to the Bob Wall Show. On the Bob Wall Show we talk business, St. Louis, and real estate. Today we have Tom and Sherry back for the second episode of their 4-episode series to help educate the St. Louis area about radon. So on the last episode we educated you on what radon is and how it enters a home, and today we're going to educate you on how the testing process works so you can test your home, that we know what goes on when you test your home for radon, and or when you're purchasing a home and you're getting that radon test. So Tom and Sherry, thanks so much again for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll just start it off. How does the testing process work when you're testing for radon?
Testing's pretty straightforward. Most of the calls that come in, people have just recently heard about radon and they're wanting to have their home tested. Either that or it's part of a real estate transaction and there's an inspection period.
Mm-hmm.
So we respond to the testing calls 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. We take Sundays off. And most of the time we'll run a continuous radon monitor. This is an example of the monitors we use. It's a Sun Nuclear product. And it'll record the alpha radiation from the ionizing atom as it occurs. So it's a non-stop measuring period for 48 hours where every hour is averaged out and plotted onto a graph. So they can see the flow of radiation and radon moving through the home at the time. And at the point that it reaches 4.0, we're looking for a mitigation system to be put in to reduce those levels.
Okay. Now, what important things when you're testing for radon, what are some important things a homeowner should know to be able to get proper test results?
Sure. So to get accurate test results, the house needs to be in what we call closed house conditions. Mm-hmm. And that simply means closing all the doors and windows of the house 12 hours prior to the test and during the testing period. If there is a mitigation system already existing, that mitigation system should be left on.
Okay.
And the HVAC system should also be on and operating at normal levels.
So with closed house conditions, people can come and go from the home as they normally would. It doesn't have to interrupt their normal living habits. It's supposed to represent what the normal conditions would be throughout the year. So of course people are leaving in the morning and coming back after work.
Okay. And the test takes 48 hours.
Yes, it's a 48-hour test.
And then how long does it take to get the results from that test?
We give our results on the day we pick up the test. You'll get the results via email. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
the reports come out at the end of the day, but while we're there, we can actually key in and show the homeowner exactly what's on the machine.
Okay, so it's not like you're sending it to a lab or to anything like that for it's a reading that you're getting from the machine when you pick it up.
Exactly.
Those tests are available. There are independent laboratory testing devices.
Okay.
And a test like this you can acquire at a local hardware store in the HVAC aisle. It's only going to give you one number, whereas a test like this one here is going to show the full 48-hour period. This testing device you'll set down. It's pretty easy to use. You take it out of the package, you set it in the basement. 48 hours later, you put it into the packaging and then mail it off to the laboratory.
Oh, I see. And that's I was going to say that seems pretty simple, but then you mail it out.
Right. And then you wait for your results. That's a charcoal test.
Okay. Is that
one single number for the period?
Is that as reliable?
It's not going to have the same precision. So this is going to show you the entire period literally as it happens, a breakdown of what happens. This will show one number. It'll have a variance anywhere up to 20% on.
So you need several. And then you send that off, and then if you want to get another test done.
So if you were doing testing in a real estate transaction, as an example, this would be a standalone one test, and they would say the results from this device would be suitable to determine whether or not you had to do mitigation.
Okay.
If you were in a real estate transaction and the home inspector chose to use charcoal-based testing, they'd say you need to do 2 of them side by side, and they'd have to be in close proximity and agree with each other in order to be valid.
Okay.
So it's always recommended that if you're doing one of these as a standalone, that you'd go ahead and run another one as a confirmation. From what I've seen, the further away from 4 you get, if you're up around 10, chances are you're going to wind up with a radon problem, even if you ran 1 or more of these things.
Okay.
But just another side note, we've got a link to a passive testing device like this on our website.
Okay.
It's stlouisradon.com. And the link is about 3/4 of the way down on the home page, just underneath the infographic, and it comes from the state of Missouri. It's a valid test to use just to screen your home. There's no cost, and I think everybody should know.
Okay, there's no cost to the test?
Yeah. Okay. Now, if you're at Home Depot or Lowe's or a local hardware store, you're probably going to pay $20 or $30 for one of these.
Okay.
But through the state of Missouri and from our website, you can get a free version of it.
I had no idea that
Right, but you
Yeah.
won't be able to get these results in time for a real estate
I was going
transaction.
that
There
way.
you go.
I was
Right.
going that direction because obviously you're in business for a reason. So the hiccup with the free test during a home sale purchase is you're on usually a 10-day window to
you're
get
on
the test results.
You're on a
So,
timeline. There's
yeah.
not as much information that comes from one of these testing devices, and the requirement would be that you need to do more than one in order to find that you're suitable or necessary to do the mitigation work. And so I think in addition to that, I mean, when you're selling a home, they're looking for a licensed professional, someone that's coming in part of the home inspection process to actually set up the test as
Okay.
opposed to just,
So
hallmark.
this wouldn't be a bad if someone's just curious and testing current homeowner that's interested in having their home tested. That might be a good, affordable option to just get some sort of reading.
Doesn't get better than free.
Yeah. So okay. Well, I had no idea that existed. I knew of the testing systems you all had, but I had no idea there was this available for for the citizens of Missouri. So
Right. It's a great program.
and it's on your website as well.
stlouisradon.com, about
Okay.
3/4 of the way down on the homepage, right underneath of the infographic.
Okay, and if there's, we covered it on the last episode, but for whoever didn't see it, to me it's, fairly common sense, but I'm in the industry. What are the benefits, just in case someone didn't catch last episodes, of having, if you're not selling your home and you don't even plan on being there, but you'd like to get it tested, what are the benefits of a homeowner testing their home for radon?
So, yeah, I think it's actually unfortunate that there's not a lot of awareness out there for radon. It's killing off about 21,000 people a year in the United States. A lot of the radon testing does happen during the real estate transaction, but if you think about what that means, you're having someone that's never heard about radon. They come back with their home inspection and they find out, oh my gosh, I have this radioactive cancer-causing gas in my house, and we've been living here for 20 years. I've raised my kids here. There's a problem, and that's the wrong time to find out.
Right.
On the last episode, we were talking about the risk assessment being over a longer period of time based on the exposure. So how much you've been exposed to and the amount of time leads to the risk assessment for lung cancer. So if you're up in those higher numbers, you have 10, 20, 30 picocuries of radon. You don't want to find that out 10, 20, 30 years later.
Right. No, for sure. And it's easy not to take something serious when you can't visually see it. It's unfortunately that's kind of.
You'd be surprised how serious people
Right.
take it when the
Right.
numbers come back
No.
and they're up in the 20s and they think, oh my gosh, how come nobody ever told me about this?
So these radon tests are free. How much is it for what are the general price ranges that people tend to charge for these types of systems?
We charge $125 for
Okay.
a professional radon test using this continuous monitor.
Okay.
Like we said earlier, if you're not involved in a real estate transaction, you can use a do-it-yourself kit.
Right.
You can use the free one. You can go to Menards and pick up a test for less than $20.
Okay. Okay. Well,
We're probably a midpoint price if you're asking that.
No, that's about right.
specifically.
Yeah,
The
that's-
home inspectors probably charge a little bit more, but we're out there just to kind of help and do what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, on the high end, a test costs probably $185.
okay. Yeah. No, that's right in the sweet spot, I think. So, well, good deal. How can people find you online and social media?
Online, we're at stlradon.com. On social media, we are on Facebook and Twitter under St. Louis Radon Test and Mitigation. Our phone number is 636-200-2875.
Well, great. Well, thanks guys for joining us, and we're gonna do another episode on I believe the next one is the installation process.
Great.
How that works. So look forward to covering that. So that concludes this week's episode of the Bob Wall Show. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. If you liked the episode, like, comment, share. It's appreciated, and I will see you guys next week.
Bye, everyone.